G'day guys, Clint here from the Full Landscape, recording episode 5 at the moment with Justin from Habitat Landscape. In this episode we talk about landscaping and things that I guess Justin does in the day-to-day operations of his business, how an accident changed the way he runs his business, and much more. Hope you enjoy.
Y'all ready to turn it up tonight?
My business isn't really that interesting.
You'll be surprised. What a spin on stuff.
We dig holes and we put plants in them.
I know, but you know, there's people that are also digging holes and putting plants in them that aren't doing it the same, or they're not doing it as well, or they might even be doing it better, or whatever. But
that's all subjective, though, isn't it?
It is true. But one way of measuring that is the amount of work that you're getting and the profile of the jobs you're getting, because it can be subjective. But when you've got 20,000 people interested in it, or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So you grew up. You're all good, DK. You grew up northeast as well. Is that you?
Yeah, I grew up in Salisbury Heights. Actually, it's where my parents' property is.
Yep. As in they've got land.
Nah, they're probably half an acre.
Yep.
Not a lot.
But not abnormal for that way.
Nah, not really. So we backed onto like a big valley. It's pretty good place to grow up.
Did you used to ride BMX or anything?
There was a BMX track up the top, but I wasn't really into that sort of stuff. You weren't a BMXer?
No. And you went to school out that way?
Yeah, I went to school at Salisbury Heights Primary School, and Pedare was my high school.
Did you finish high school?
Yep.
So finished year 12, didn't go to uni?
No, I sort of finished year 12, didn't know what I wanted to do. So
yeah, that was that.
Same old story.
It's funny, that was going to be one of my questions, is what did you want to be when you grew up? And so landscaping wasn't...
I don't think at that time there was not really an industry for it, like it was...
It's funny, there probably still isn't as much as there is, and we know there is.
It's definitely, over the last 10 years, I've seen it change
massive,
a lot.
And probably more in the last 5 and 3. But,
definitely.
I've only been involved in it for, say, 15 years.
Yeah.
How old are you?
32.
Yeah, so I'm 35, so it's that kind of...
Yeah. Well, I sort of look at it, like even the jobs I did when I started working for my old boss was, borrel paving. Moss rocks, and now you sort of look at it and it's a totally different ballpark. So
yeah, we obviously, before I started this, I was working at Newton Sand and Metal, so my first 5 years in the landscaping industry was supplying those borel pavers, and I was running the irrigation shop. But you're seeing, like, if someone came in on a Saturday or a Sunday, like a mum and dad, and they wanted to get someone to do some landscaping, they'd be like, what are you looking for? Oh, we really like these 300 by 300 promenades, I think they're called, or the 220 by 220.
No.
What are they called? But yeah, it was really just charcoal, sandstone, sometimes terracotta.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I was sort of phasing out as I started. So, but
they don't make the terracotta anymore.
No, it's actually coming back in now, as a trend.
So, and then the patterns.
Yeah, it was all. Yeah, it's all totally different.
Yeah,
but you sort of look at it, and it's not like it wasn't a desirable industry at that point. And then you sort of look at the young guys that are coming to me now, and they're actually, this is what they want to do. You get a bit of building, you get a bit of...
So you're finding that there's people coming to you saying, hey, I want to be a landscaper.
Yep.
Can I work for Habitat?
Definitely.
No shit. Because that was going to be something that I was going to ask you further in. Do you struggle to find staff, and do you have a pipeline of staff that are coming, or...
Previously, I thought it was a real struggle. It's always a struggle to get good guys, but
to get interest?
I think for me now, I want to get guys that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
Which is a totally different...
So if they've got the right attitude and the desire...
You're happy to invest in them. They're not going to leave next week to go find a job that might pay better at their age bracket, or
or that $1 or $2 an hour difference.
But they want to do this as their career. And that's the sort of people that I want.
And they've come to you. So your brand has become strong enough that...
Yeah, I get emails about it all the time. I've got a guy chasing up. Just following on my email from a month ago or whatever. And
so that's, you said before how, and I know you say it in jest, we just dig holes and put in the plants. These, to be getting, I can tell you right now, there would be less than 5% of your market would be getting emails from people saying, hey, I'd like to come work for you. They're struggling to find staff. So that's got to be a badge of honour, as much as you're not the kind of guy to wave the flag.
I think it's more for me, it sort of shows to me that the industry is growing, and I'm passionately involved in it now. More so than I was 12 years ago.
Well, so you started. So you left school? Did you have a high school job or anything? Or
yeah, sort of. So basically, what happened was I was working at Faster Pasta. That's my high school job.
The one at Golden Grove?
No, the one in Salisbury actually.
Salisbury. I love Faster Pasta. I miss Sizzler actually, but.
And then on Saturday mornings, I'd go up to Top Cat Landscaping, wash trucks, load toolboxes.
Did you know him from a family connection or anything? Or
So
it was just...
Craig, my best mate, his dad is the owner of it. So.
And so you just, like, that was a thing that was available?
Yeah, it was, got paid to do a little bit of Saturday work and then go spend the weekends and do what we wanted to do after that. So
and then that turned into a job?
We basically, after high school, we left, and we always had this big plan to go stay up in Queensland for a few months and just go surfing and live a good life. And by the time we came back for Craig was going to uni and whatever, we were up there for 3.5 months.
So you did to Queensland. Okay, that's good. So
went to Queensland for 3.5
regrets.
months. And then we came back, and Trev called me and said, I've got a few weeks work if you're interested. 12 years later, I still...
and now you're a business owner.
Yeah, what I must have been there for maybe... Been doing it for 14 years now, so I must have been there for 10 years.
So you got to a point where it was a long service start, like, not whether or not that's relevant, but you did your 10
it was very easy for me at the time. Like, I was playing in a band and we were travelling a bit, so Trevor and his kids were in the band as well, so he was always like, oh yeah, you can go.
Because, so he's got more than one kid?
2 kids, So
and are they in landscaping now?
No, one's a mechanical engineer and one works in music promotion, so.
Cool. So then, obviously... you decided to start Habitat off the back of your experiences with...
No, basically what happened was Travis pretty much said he was going to retire. So he pretty much said to, a couple of us that if we were interested, he'd help us start our own businesses and, get us through our building licenses and whatever. And then from there, he'd, provide work if we needed it.
So did everyone was there a group of you that went then started businesses?
There's Chad from Salt Landscaping.
Yep.
He also played in our band and he grew up with us like childhood friends.
That's crazy. So there's all these like band members.
Just gone off. Yeah. So it's just 2 of us really, and then there's another guy, Brad, who's sort of started off on his own as well. But, basically the day that I left, I took one of Trevor's employees with me. He became a supervisor. So he's been with me since day dot. It was a big risk at the time.
Yeah.
But lucky, I had some capital and whatever, and I was... wasn't.
Yeah, I think
it wasn't as risky as what you make it out to be.
At the time, you think it's scary as hell.
The scariest thing was that my wife, she'd just gone back to finish her psychology masters, so I was leaving.
So you were the sole. Was she working? So she wasn't working. She was back at uni full time.
She was that year. So the same year I started, she went back to uni. I started my business. And I'd gone from having a steady income, guaranteed income, to nothing.
Variable income.
Which
is usually varies to the line.
And still paying a mortgage and whatever.
Yeah.
And in making investment into like trucks and all that sort of stuff as well, So.
And you, how many staff have you got now?
7.
Yeah. So and how long's it been?
4 years, I think.
Yeah. So still really young.
Yep.
Yeah. 4 years, crazy. I reckon in 4 years we wouldn't. I mean, it's different because it's labour versus supply, but we wouldn't. I wouldn't have had 7 staff till we were like 8.
Oh, really?
Something. But you need staff.
Yeah, you can't go without, and especially in my situation, it makes it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that a little bit later, but I guess, what Justin's referring to is an injury that occurred,
a year ago,
at the
end of the month.
I was going to say, because the footy season's just started, and it reminded me of that the fatal day. It's not fatal.
Could have been.
Yeah. I guess for people listening, explain what we're referring to and how that's impacted you and your business.
Basically, 11 months ago, I went surfing with some mates. I don't really know what happened, but I ended up breaking 6 vertebrae. Thought I punctured my lungs. My mates dragged me off into the beach.
And then, was this a remote area? It was a remote beach?
Yeah, so just about an hour out of Victor Harbour.
Yep.
On a farmer's property. Yep. So there's no car access and all that sort of stuff. I had to walk up a hill.
Yep.
Luckily, had my work ute there. Had some portable tools. We broke some locks and got the car down there. And got to hospital. I thought I punctured my lungs, and I got the bad news that I hadn't actually punctured my lungs. In that moment, I thought I was really soft. And then they said, but you've broken 6 vertebrae.
So how close was that to you not walking again?
Well, the vertebrae are higher, so it's more of a risk when it's down lower. So it's just more, not being able to... If you look at it the other way, could have drowned, could have... There's so many different variables.
Well, I guess life's so easy to take, and we don't think about how fragile we are as humans, and we go do things like surf and...
Yeah, it's definitely changed.
And jump off walls.
My outlook. Yeah, and that too.
So, obviously, surfing's something that you're passionate about. Are you gonna? I mean, can you surf again? Is it?
Yeah, well,
you just surf baby waves. Is it the same adrenaline? I'm not a surfer, so I don't get the connection with the ocean and the rush and the.
It's it doesn't always have to be scary. Like you can just be doing
tranquil
it for enjoyment and just for some time away from work. I think you know it's like you start your own business and it encompasses everything that you do.
I think I need a hobby because my dangerous release on stress from work is alcohol. So I don't go surfing or I should meditate again. But you know what I mean? Like I don't have a.
Yeah, you need it, and I find that at the moment, you know, like I just work.
So if you don't, obviously music's a big part of your life. If you've been in a band for that long.
Yeah, sort of.
Is that a release?
No, it's more of a time thing.
Yeah.
You know, it takes up too much time these days where you don't.
Because you feel like you need to produce.
Well, it takes a long time to do that sort of aspect of you know, to do it seriously.
And if you were getting paid to do it, you'd be fine.
But the longer I've been in it, the more you know that people aren't making money.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's not feasible.
Yep.
It's not a feasible ongoing hobby. Or
so are you still in rehab now?
Yeah, so physio twice a week, and that's
for another year or until you.
Yeah, 2 years. They say at 2 years you'll know exactly what you're going to be capable of.
And that's it. Like after that, it's unlikely you're going to get more capable.
Well, pretty much you'll know you'll know your own capacity. So
sorry, I put my phone on silent. First rule of Podcast Club. Yeah. Okay. So prior to the accident, you were quite a hands-on director.
Yeah, like I really liked going on. I was on site every day, like, and I was helping the guys, and you know, I do miss it.
Yep.
You know, you see these other guys that think like, you know, not being on the tools is amazing.
What's the grass is greener syndrome?
I don't see that. You know,
you miss it.
I do miss it. You know, going out there, you know, hanging out with the guys, helping them, doing things,
that camaraderie,
building stuff. You know, like I really do enjoy it. I didn't set out to be an office guy. No. You know, like that's not why.
So what's going to happen is that you're going to have to find a hybrid of like being able to visit sites and direct, point and they shoot kind of thing, or you've just
I don't know. I think it's just more. I think I've found like since the accident, like just more so laying trust in other people, and it'll be what it will be, and you can't do too much about it.
Because there's so many directors of landscape companies, and obviously we deal with hundreds of landscapers that have been trying to detach from site work and become like working on their business, not in their business for so long, and you were forced.
Yeah, so it did make me take that jump to work on the business, not in the business.
Yeah,
but I still think you can't have 100% hands-off attitude because you're not going to get the results that you're looking for.
Yeah,
you know, people can be complacent, or you know, you're not there to make sure things are happening.
Because no matter how much of how good an employee is, they'll never do it like the owner.
Yeah, something that they'll do some things better though as well.
Yeah.
So like that's
or it might be
it's
different
not
to what
that, but
expecting.
it's just like little things, you know, like servicing vehicles or checking that sort of stuff. And like if you're not around a lot, things.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
You know, I've got an awesome team, so I'm not saying anything negative about them, but it's
and they all stepped up from what I remember. I mean,
they were amazing. You know,
like there was no question. They were just like, whatever you need, dude.
Pretty much
we've got your back behind the puns.
So the 4 months that I was in bed, they didn't have a day off.
Yeah. So it's Saturday, Sunday.
No, they did have Saturday weekends off. They didn't take it.
But there's no sick days.
There was enough work for that time. No one was having sick days.
Yeah, wow. And they got it done.
Yeah, I think we made a profit for those 4 months as well, which is.
So it's a sad way to push you into a position of becoming an inactive director, I guess, or not an inactive director, but a physically inactive director.
Yeah, definitely. And I think.
Do you take positives from it?
I think the positives for me is I just learned to let go a little bit.
Yeah.
Not that I'm controlling, but like I like to know what's going on.
Yeah,
I have a very precise, you know, target for every day and whatever, you know, like.
I don't think that's control. I mean, it's your business. Like,
but I sell it to the guys, you know, like the business is nothing without them either. Like, you know, it works together.
Yeah, it's symbiotic. So you've been 4 years. What did you say? 7 staff.
Yeah.
I guess what when you have a client ring you, what does your sales process look like? Do you deal predominantly with landscape designers, or are you still getting client direct?
Probably 50-50. I would say would be where we sit.
Yep. So if it's a designer, you'll get a plan.
Just pretty much get an email,
and then you'll quote off the plan.
Yeah, do a site.
Rarely need to do a site. Oh, you still
do a site inspection just for, you know. But you can always just put provisions in your quantities and things anyway. So.
And if that wasn't the case, you'd then have a client engage you direct.
Yeah, which still happens a lot.
And do you do design, or
we design and things as well, but I don't sell myself.
You're not a designer.
I don't sell myself as a designer.
I think, especially in when you see some of the design that's out there, it's probably respectful to not.
Well, that's what I think. These guys, the designers, have been doing it for X amount of years.
They go to uni. They've studied. I'm
not in there to undercut people. I'm here to create just the industry. That's what it's about for me. So.
I talked about that with, I think it was Mitch, that when people are quite at peace with their role in the market and that there's enough work for you and you're not hungry and you don't sense this, you're not worried about there being, it's quite plentiful.
Yep.
You're happy to see other people succeed because it's not at the detriment of you.
Yeah, exactly. So it's I refer so many people on. I have probably a list of 6 or 7 guys. My phone calls.
Yep.
I say how quickly do you need this done?
Yep.
And then sort of say
so you call that guy.
Yeah, whereabouts are you situated? Yep. And from there you just give your own referrals.
It's a good way to probably qualify clients as well. I think when you get to a certain place in the market, people might want to use you, but then they're not really aware of how deep that is financially and.
Yeah, if it's a small job and the guys can, they might want to do it on the weekends or whatever,
they can do it on the side.
I can help them as well, so, it's sort of...
So do you run, I'm going to guess, like a Xero style accounting platform?
Yeah, Xero on the money, yep.
And do you have a bookkeeper that does all that work for you? I guess I'm asking these questions.
I sit on the fence on that. I've thought about bookkeepers.
So you still do all your data entry,
everything.
Yep, all your invoices, and then just hand it off to an accountant quarterly or yearly for quarterly for BAS. Yep, you'd be registered for GST with that many staff.
Yep, definitely. I think I was registered from day dot.
Yeah, it's funny. Mitch said the same thing, and I guess when you're a lot of. The reason, for you guys, that you need to register for GST is because the cost of materials on these jobs. If it goes into your hands, you're just passing it on, but you're still moving more than 70k a year because it's 20 grand worth of papers.
Talk to renderers and things that work for us, and they're like, just so you know, I'm not qualified for GST. Okay.
Yeah, because they're only charging their labour rate,
which is not a lot.
Yeah.
Could do a lot of jobs to cover that. So.
Yeah, because
I also supply materials for some of my contractors as well. So.
Yeah. I need to get some rendering done, I think. I've got to get my whole house rendered. I don't even want to begin to think of what it's going to cost. Yeah, good. Okay. Our house is ridiculously big, and then once we do the landscaping, there's going to be
I know that feeling at the moment, mate. I'm very overwhelmed.
Oh, because you bought up in the hills.
Yep.
And so are you trying to landscape that? Or are you renovating more than landscaping?
We moved in the week after my accident. To a place with.
So you'd signed the contract, and then it was all I'm going to be able to renovate this after hours, and
So basically, that's what happened, and we thought, so we've taken on a second mortgage, you name it,
yeah.
And then I've had an accident where I don't know where I'm going to get food, don't know where the income's coming from.
And was your wife still studying at this point?
No, she's been back.
So she's practicing now.
Yeah, she was only an extra year of study, so she's been working for 3 years.
Yep. So what's she qualified in?
Psychology.
Was that an interesting dynamic when you were going through? Does she take a psychologist role then, or just stays wife and it's so hard for her to flick that switch on and off?
I think it's hard, but she was very caring.
And not one. I mean, if she's caring anyway, I'm guessing.
It depends on which day you ask.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Shout out to Mrs. Walkden. So then, so you do your Xero. Do you type your quotes up in Xero? No. So you do an Excel or a Word document for your quote.
Yep.
And then there's no, you don't have a sales budget. You've got numbers that you feel like you need to achieve monthly or quarterly or annually.
You have a pretty good idea yourself.
Yep.
But, excluding, what you're doing on materials, what you want to make in your business.
Your weight and how many hours of work a person needs to do a day and all that kind of thing. So if you were doing a design and it was being done by you, would you hand draw that? Or you don't use CAD or?
Basically, we outsource CAD.
Yep. So you'll do the design by hand and then contract that out, and makes sense.
Which is, it's just one less thing I've got to learn, one less thing that's going to take up my time, and someone's going to do it quicker than me. So
I get that, man. I've got an irrigation designer who drives CAD like no one else, and then I don't know anything about what DK does. I don't know how to edit video. I don't know how to do so many things, but I think if you know where your skills are at and you're self-aware enough to hire those people around you, then
your time can be spent better doing other things.
That's right.
And that's how I see it. It's the same with aspects of building someone's garden.
Yep.
You sort of know where our time is better spent than.
So if you need to then
contractors.
contract, so the rendering is an example.
Oh, we got a qualified renderer on board, but
Yeah.
I can have a renderer working, and I can have him, my qualified renderer,
Or
doing
not.
something else. You know,
Yeah.
or, you know,
Yeah, well, that's business. That's it, isn't it? Really, it's just about moving dials and flicking switches to make sure that
make sure the job happens and you get done on time,
and
you know.
obviously still make a profit.
Yep.
So do you? This is what was the? I guess from a machinery point of view, do you guys have your own machines? Do you hire stuff?
We own an excavator.
Yep.
Probably looking truck and bobcat as the next investment.
Yep. Big truck.
Yeah.
Like 14 tonner.
Yep.
Yep. Have you got a license to drive? Are you going to be right to do that?
I probably wouldn't drive it. Would either employ someone else to do so.
Would you go get your license for it?
I've got all that
You
stuff.
got that stuff.
Yeah,
So you got that when you were working for Trevor?
Yeah, and so does one of my supervisors does. We sort of did it on the outside as we were
Yep.
leaving, so I organised it.
Yep.
Got myself and Darren our truck licenses.
Yep. I'm pretty sure one of my guys has got like Chris used to be a truck driver. I'm pretty sure he's still got those truck licenses, but I did think that, like, I sometimes think if I ever owned that kind of stuff, like if we went down the installation arm, I wouldn't have a ticket for a fork or a ticket for an excavator or a skid steer. So I'd be so reliant on my guys to be able to drive the truck.
But then you sort of look at it the other way, and it's just extra staff, more money, but it's just the convenience of being able to, instead of trying, get people in.
Well, if you've got to move the truck on a Sunday,
you can,
or you want to do something at home or whatever,
you can just
get in your own truck and drive. You're not having to worry about
it. And especially for the little ones, like sometimes it's like a little job, and you're just like, I've got to organise that 3 weeks in advance just to get someone there and to make sure they're there.
Because it seems like the transport, like the dirt moving market is really busy at the moment.
Crazy.
Like, and those guys can pretty much demand what they want. But I think they're also protecting their relationships. And if you don't have like obviously they've got Garden Grove or Newtons and they contract to them.
Yeah.
They're going to protect that.
Exactly.
Because in times of famine, it's not there.
Exactly right. So that's probably the next biggest decision is what we do in that sense. Either that or commercial property, I think, is the next.
As in whether or not
buy my own depot and
then
I rent that
and have that. As in have a commercial property big enough to then sublease that to other people as well.
Yeah. So I've been looking. And I've sort of got a plan in place for something like that as well, with a couple of other contractors. So
that's a good idea. I've always wanted to own our buildings, that kind of McDonald's idea. Like I'm paying rent to a landlord, but the reality was that in the early days,
you can't afford it.
I don't even. This place would be $1 million plus.
Yeah,
and there was no way we were buying. I mean, when we started the shop, we had like 20 grand in the bank. It was not.
I think that's like anyone that starts a small business.
Yeah, that's right. So you bootstrap it until you get there. Are you an Apple or an Android user?
Apple.
Have you always been Apple?
Yeah.
Do you think that's driven off the back of your music side of things, or?
Yeah, we swapped to Apple like would have been 10 years ago.
Yep.
Just for recording purposes and whatnot. So
I jumped off. I reckon at Apple. I think the iPhone 5 was my last Apple device.
I can understand people's frustrations with it all.
Yeah, I'm a bit like against the man, and I was really like, I don't want to be told what to do with my files, and I guess there's times now, and I don't like to admit it because old mate here is like Apple fan, but there's times when I'm like, I probably would have preferred Apple. Like
it's user friendly,
it's safe if you want to go down that line. But
that stuff's pretty full on as well
right now. Yeah,
at the moment, yeah.
And then I guess sometimes some apps work better on Apple because they were written for Apple first, and then
I don't know. I've never gone the other way, so
yeah.
I think I've got a Samsung tablet, I think.
Yeah,
and I don't use it because it's just I don't know the system well enough.
Yeah,
I find it frustrating.
I've jumped around heaps. Like I've gone like iPhone whatever up to 4, Note like so Samsung, Google Pixel, but I'm kind of, I guess I'm relatively agnostic. I'll go wherever if it's in the best interest of what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
For the business. Do you run your own socials? Do you run?
Yep.
You're the guy that's in charge. So Instagram is one that you use. Are you doing Facebook as well?
Not as much.
So 5 years ago, were you?
Yes.
Yep. So do you feel that you personally, as well as from a business point of view, is moving more to Instagram than?
I think.
Like you prefer to be in that platform.
I think so. I think you can cut the crap quicker. It's visual.
Yep.
So.
And your market is visual.
Yeah, it sort of makes more sense. Like rather than seeing an essay about something. I just find I don't have much time. So. Yeah.
So you want to be able to go flick like. Yep. Cool. Nice photo.
Yep. It's good for inspiration. It's good for all sorts of different things.
Do you communicate much, I guess, in DM slide into the DM. Do you like message other landscapers and designers inside that platform, or do you find clients are coming at you through Instagram and messaging you and asking you questions about
it's
stuff?
It's funny you say that. More so now than ever before, even with Facebook.
Yep.
Probably got like 6 or 7 people in the last 2 weeks hitting me up asking,
on Facebook.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, keep in touch with people. Ask questions about things or whatever.
Yep. If you see something you like,
someone that I might be friends with, or someone that I know, I might talk to them. I direct on social media.
It's funny how it's changed. Like, you imagine having that conversation 10 years ago. Like,
no one would.
Yeah.
No one would give anything. But I think it's in everyone's best interest. If the whole industry seems like it's doing well, then everyone's doing well.
I completely agree, and I think we've kind of come to a tipping point now where we're at a point of no return, and I guess the landscape industry is going to be held to a higher standard in South Australia.
I think it's about time, and
it's not going back. And
it's things like you hate to say it, but it's the construction TV shows and all that sort of stuff, and the interest in that sort of thing.
I talk to a lot of guys in Melbourne about I guess their willingness to be involved in construction TV shows, and a lot of the guys
probably
wouldn't do it because of it actually can be potentially damaging to your brand. Obviously, there's guys like Dave Franklin who have done really well with brand.
Yeah, I think it has its place.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's not for me.
You still have to do it in the week, like, because I was asking them about it. I'm like, is it really a week?
It gives people unrealistic expectation as well.
Yeah, and then if they're like, how can you do it in a week but you still want $100,000?
Yeah,
I'm like, well, that's the materials and the labour and it is what it is. But
it's a lot of compromise and that sort of stuff as well.
Yeah, so I think there's definitely people out there that it works for, and there's people that it doesn't. But it does give unrealistic expectations. But I guess, anyone who really thinks that's how the world works, there's people out there that
I don't know. Last year before Christmas we had one.
Reality TV customer.
We were there for 3 months this year already.
Yeah.
And we've sort of just finished. And it was a month before Christmas. He's like, so we'll have this finished before Christmas. And I was like,
no. And because he thought, well, why can't you? Because he's seen it done on TV.
No, we've already done some work there. But I think he just had an unrealistic expectation, so...
You just got to push you got to push your trades. I do it. I push. We got a builder that does work for me at home, and I'll always be like, "You got nothing on, do you?" No, he's so busy.
You're taking the piss.
And I'm like, you guys be able to get here tomorrow, wouldn't you? And he's like, no. So, but
it's funny how often you hear it.
I do it in jest because I know, and like I hadn't seen him for when we had Connor and Lucy, we stopped all work at the house until like a month ago. It's been like 13 or 14 months. I think to finish the renos of our house, we needed to sand the ceiling in our bathroom and paint it. I think that was it.
Much.
It's just like 13 or 14 months.
We'll see how long it takes me to get our renos done.
Yeah, it's gonna. You know what, man? Like, as you would.
It's
now,
comfortable. The house is comfortable. And it doesn't need to be done either.
There's bigger things in life than your house. You've obviously experienced what happened with your back. I'm guessing that's given you some perspective from a personal level as well as a business level. Like, obviously, I'm here talking to you about your business, but
definitely changed my outlook a lot.
Yeah,
I'm not working the 90 hours.
You say no to some things more and say yes to other things more now.
Definitely, and I think also, at home I'm not working every night until 10 o'clock where I was, last year.
Yeah, I think there's sometimes those years occur, like you just have to knuckle down for 12 months.
I'm not scared of hard work.
No.
But you sort of look at it.
If it's at the detriment of your relationships.
Your time with your wife or with your family or downtime or,
I struggle with the balance. I hate that term work-life balance because I think if you're doing something that you really enjoy...
and I really enjoy it, and that's probably why I do it.
Yeah, it's hard. But then your partner's like, hey...
Even when it comes to the weekends and you want to go hang out with your friends or go surfing or, go to...
That was pretty much the part that I had to remove from my life.
Yeah.
So, like, if you wanted... business and family. Yeah. I don't see how you can genuinely excel at 3 or 4. And
you have to, you got to make the decision of what's worth it and friendships that are worth it and whatever. And sort of cut the crap as you get a bit older.
And you'll see that friendship like that pyramid out to kind of 3 or 4 really key friends.
Exactly right.
Are you still friends with a lot of the guys you went to school with? Was that your or was it band friends? Is that a thing? Band friends or
sort of a mix of the lot, But in my current friendship group will probably be a mix of all of it.
Yep. And that's it now, you reckon? That's your solid, like...
Well, there's the people you talk to every week, and if you're not,
Yeah. Because I feel like, you kind of get to a point where... And I think employment wise. Like obviously, if you've got a good relationship with a landscape designer or a paving supplier or someone,
exactly,
they might become part of that
group.
Of
that as well. Yeah, or the same. You know, like I've got our pool builder. He's just moved into the hills as well, so he'll probably move into.
Yep. Build your pool for you?
Yeah. No. He'll probably just move into a bit more of our friendship group, maybe. He's a nice guy. You know, like just things like that, you know.
Yeah.
Have an ongoing relationship with him.
And it becomes geographically more convenient. I know, like, Matt and I, Matt who manages Waterpro, we spend a lot of time together outside of work as well because we're with each other all the time here.
But you've got a lot in common for that reason.
And we live, and we've got a lot in common. We both love IPA and pizza and golf.
All the good stuff.
All the good stuff, the stuff that keeps us looking like each other. But he lives, I would say, under a kilometre from my house.
Yeah.
So we're both driving home.
It's convenient, isn't it?
Do you want to just do something for dinner? Yeah, cool. Geographically, it just pulls you closer together.
Exactly right.
What brand of site radio do your guys run?
Triple J.
So they listen to Triple J. What's the brand of the do they have a battery? This was something that I thought of this morning. I'm like, what do people? Is it all Makita?
I run Makita stuff.
Yep.
So the business runs Makita.
Yep.
But one of the supervisors brings his own tools, which is Milwaukee.
Yep. That was funny.
It's a contentious issue.
I said to him, like, what's the go? Like, what is it? Is DeWalt even in the mix, or is it Milwaukee and Makita? Like,
10 years ago, DeWalt was the one you wanted.
Yeah. And so now DeWalt's like GMC. Like, it seems to. It's like in Bunnings and.
It's all in Bunnings now.
Yeah.
I think
everything's in Bunnings.
Yeah.
Milwaukee.
I'm not sure about that.
You'd probably more specialist tools. So you're a Makita fan?
Yeah, well, I've had that for many
because
years.
it was your kit, and you kind of it's like
Apple and iPhone.
Commit,
you commit to that, and then you've got all the batteries, and you know, any extras you buy, you just sort of end up buying that.
Do you buy your cars new or second hand?
Second hand.
Always. Just feel more comfortable. Like
I just think it's hard to keep things nice when you're busy.
Yeah.
You're busy on site.
Yep.
You're not making money from cleaning a car or looking after.
Yep.
You can look after as good as you can.
Yeah. You want to be presentable, but
is your time? You're not making money if you're sitting in the depot watching your vehicle.
If you're a car detailing company, you might buy a new car.
Exactly.
But yeah, I found it. It was something that I thought of this morning as well. Like, we've only bought new cars when it's relevant.
Yep.
Because of the tax benefits or whatever.
It's still pretty good at the moment as well, though. With you can claim full depreciation at $20,000 as well.
That's right.
So.
And most of the cars we look at are in that 20 to 30 grand bracket anyway. But if I was to buy myself a new car now, I'd always go second hand because I just. Do you know what I mean? I've
been umming and ahhing. Like, I'm thinking about getting a new car.
Just for you?
For me.
Yeah.
I've been driving around the same car for a long time.
Yeah.
But then I think about it the other way and like, do I need it?
And what could that money be better spent on?
Exactly.
At such an early stage in your business. And you've also recently experienced a knockback.
Yep.
What happens if another knockback happens? Not you physically, but like...
Yeah, I like to be.
Whatever.
I'm relatively cautious.
Yeah.
So
we talked about... Mitch and I talked... Because Mitch from Sandstone just bought his third... and he's been buying new cars. And we just looked at the difference between all of that and the Toyota Access and all that jazz. What did I have? Do you think, like you talked about the commercial property before, do you think you'll always be in landscaping? Is it something that...
I'm an hour with a few other ideas, but I think like I'm in this for the long haul now. So this would be my primary business, but I do have other interests and ideas around that, or outside of this as well. So
if you were to move into a different business, it would be a peripheral business of the same?
Probably not of the same.
Like, as in, landscaping can become building quite easily, but you're not.
I think it'd be something totally different.
Yeah, so you would be as extreme as like now I own a restaurant or a pizza food truck, or, I think so, or whatever, something that doesn't require further study, obviously.
Yeah, I think that, and also just for interest's sake, keep the mind ticking.
Yep. Do you read?
A little bit, yeah.
Yep. Are you reading anything at the moment?
No, not at the moment.
What was the last book you read?
I can't remember. Probably before my accident. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So when you were laid up, what were you doing to keep yourself? Were you gaming?
Trying to run a business.
Yeah. So obviously, just running a business with less movement, so taking longer to get one thing done.
Or having to refer like a lot more email and a lot more.
So if you'd hurt yourself 15 years ago or 20 years ago, if you were alive and you were 33 then, that would have been a totally different game.
Yep.
So you were able to operate your business from your phone or from a tablet? From your phone.
So basically my wife would make me food. She'd leave out there for the side of the day, go to work.
So she'd leave you your day's food?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep. And that's it. You weren't able to get out of bed?
You could, but it was
a process.
Yeah.
So you just had to stay still?
Pretty much just lay there.
Brace?
No brace.
Just don't move?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the vertebrae that were damaged, the one's connected to your rib cage.
Oh, so you're twisting.
Twisting and things like that is bad, but you sort of... you didn't need any bracing and whatever, but it just lay there, have your computer charged and make sure you are.
Oh man!
And
so
then trying to
up.
phone FaceTime with clients and the guys and trying to explain levels
and pointing and
really awkward. But that's pretty much what your day spent. And then you'd be thinking about it, so you'd be laying there all day and you'd just be over analysing everything and thinking about.
Oh, did I tell them this properly or?
Yeah, and you're remembering things that you'd discussed, and throughout time I was on painkillers, so your memory's pretty bad and you're sleeping a lot. And
did you run a headset?
No.
So you were holding your phone.
Yeah.
You're holding your phone as well.
Yeah, just loudspeaker.
Yeah, I went to a headset October last year, and I've not turned back.
I can't do it. My old boss used to run a headset, and he just looks like a.
I don't care what I look like. Where is my headset? Yeah, like
I probably need one.
Like,
but the guys are paying me out too much that it wouldn't be worth it.
Yeah, see, I guess if I cared about what people thought about me, I'd probably lose some weight. But
I don't care too much.
So this is corded as well, so it makes me look like even more like a dick. And he's got his little Apple earbuds, but I moved to this headset. This is a will.i.am headset. So Matt bought one for me for my birthday. This is my second one because I lost the one he bought me for my birthday, which we try not to talk about too much. But
do you want to talk about that?
We can talk about.
So how did you lose that, Clint?
Well, if we knew that, I think my 4-year-old son said, "Where did you have it last, Dad?" And I was like, "No worries, dude," because I think maybe that's what he gets asked. I don't know. I'm. You talked before about you're not making money when you're washing your car.
Yeah.
I move so fast all the time that sometimes the casualties are
things,
text messages, emails, relationships, headsets. I lost the same laptop that I've got there. No idea where it went.
Yeah,
like a whole laptop. So it happens.
I can't say I'm the most careful with some of my belongings.
I don't know. I guess it's just a personality trait for me. Like, what do you do? Like, I can't. If I slow down, do I maybe miss out on making some money here that covers the cost of?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's my personality. It's not something that I can change. So
that being said, it's not always about money, though, is it?
No. It's like I don't think it's like for me. It's a tool to win the game again.
Yep.
Like to have another. It's almost like just to buy another ticket. Like I want to make sure that. It's egos. This is about ego for me. It's not about money.
No.
So I just want to win, and to win, I need more money because I need to then deploy that money against new software technology or a new
something else. Well,
our website. I mean, we got a dude full time just on our website. Like, that costs money, and then we have to do changes on that. What's your favourite cuisine?
Probably by default, but my wife makes a lot of Japanese food. So
yeah. It's up there for me, man.
I do enjoy it.
Japanese and Italian.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if anyone's come up with a fusion restaurant of those two yet, but...
I'm sure my wife will come up with something.
Sushi entree and like pasta or pizza main, just...
Sushi pasta.
I don't know if that would work. I think the pasta might warm the... so she makes a lot of Japanese food, as in like legit Japanese food?
Yeah.
Has she got a background there or...?
No, she just fell into her love of sushi, and which has expanded to a love of...
Yep.
Straight up Japanese.
Like soba and tonkatsu and whatever. Like
you name it. That's our cuisine at home.
And so you got the sauces, like you've got the proper tonkatsu sauce and the proper mirin and the soy. Oh wow.
Yep. So did any dinner party people come up? It's like
it's Japanese.
It's Japanese. So.
Sake or not?
The funny thing is, I went to Vietnam last year, and the night before we got damaged on some sake.
Yeah.
And
in Vietnam?
No, the night before we went out for a dinner with some friends and
just to see you later.
Yeah, and since then, never again.
Yeah, sake is a funny one. Like, I think if you don't drink it in the right way, as in small amounts,
I don't think drinking
as part of a
meal. Or
not like shots.
I don't think tumblers full of sake is the.
Did you say tumblers?
Yeah.
As in like a larger cup than that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm pointing at a mug. The no maps, I noticed, obviously you shared recently on Facebook that you'd released a new song. Was that what?
So basically what happened was, would have been 2000, must have been 2016.
Yep.
We pretty much got too busy to do music.
How many guys are in the band?
Played in a few different bands over my time.
Yep.
But the main band I played with was 5 of us.
Yep.
And then from that, when that sort of disbanded, 2 of us sort of kept.
So that no maps is 2?
Just 2 of us, yeah.
And what do you do?
Just generally play guitar production, but it's no longer like get in a room and play music together.
Yeah, I get that. Like,
it's a computer, basically.
And you share files in. Is there an ecosystem for that? Like, is there an app or a website where that's done?
We should be using email pretty much but that's pretty much it. So after our, the band that we're in for 8 years or whatever, we moved on to starting this other thing called Problems, which was good. Toured and had fun. And
so where did you tour? Internationally?
In the original band we did, but this one we just played Australia.
So did you travelled a lot with music?
I wouldn't say a lot. Like, we've travelled Australia a lot.
Yep. Did you do it like Europe or America? Or?
Yeah, we toured Europe as one of our original bands.
Yep. And how long did you travel for?
That's been 6 weeks.
I think we spoke about this. So, was this where you lived in the van, or that was in Australia?
No, we lived in a van in Australia as well. But basically, in Europe, we 6 guys in a van for 6 weeks.
6 guys in a van?
Yeah.
All sleeping in the van?
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about this when I was in Melbourne, because I was trying to find accommodation in Melbourne. He's like, just hire a van, sleep in the van. I was like, yeah, I'd rather stay in mine.
We had a Winnebago when you're in Europe, but in Australia, we'd just hire like a
tradie van.
A tradie van, like a High Ace or whatever, and 5 guys would sleep in the back.
Yep. Were you drinking?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was easy to get to sleep. I could just imagine 5
There were nights, where you'd like the singer before, like you'd look outside the van, he's asleep on the footpath. Like, it wasn't always comfortable, but it was always fun.
And you got it done?
Yeah, it depends on who you ask. Yeah.
You finished, like you came home kind of thing?
Yeah, we never lost anyone. I think we only missed one flight.
Yeah, I've never missed a flight. I'm like the kind of dude that fills up my petrol tank before the light comes on, and
yeah, I'm the same.
It's weird, like.
But when you're still out and it's like 4 o'clock in the morning, and then you're trying to. This is a past life, though, now.
Yeah, you're an adult now, running a business.
So yeah, we stopped Problems, and then we started making. We had a whole bunch of other songs which we did, and then so we just made another song and put it out under a new name.
Just to make sure just to get it done, like it was.
Yeah, I think it's just a creativity thing. And like, one of the guys that make music with has got a couple of kids now, so I think he does it for his own sanity.
I really need to come up with a hobby. I genuinely think my hobby is business.
I'm pretty much there with you.
Like if I have a spare moment, like last night I was watching Google Analytics videos on YouTube to try and learn how to read our website traffic better. Yeah. Because I want to get better at it. And that's the only way I can think of doing it, rather than engaging someone to do it. But even if I did, obviously I have DK to do my filming, but I have a general idea of the software that's used, how long it takes to edit a video. Like, I'm not going to do it, but I want to know how to do it before I employ someone to do it. Yeah. And like, if I've got spare moments, I'm like trying to make Facebook ads or Instagram ads and testing. And I get a rush out of like doing a new Facebook ad and then seeing it convert customers, or I don't know.
See, maybe you don't need a hobby.
Well, I don't think I do. I think my hobby was drinking, but I need to stop doing that. Why? I kind of have stopped doing that.
I did catch you out the other day.
I fucking relapsed really bad. When I was in Melbourne, I was getting screenshots of me holding a beer from multiple. You weren't the only one. Because Inika took a Instagram, and there's just me standing there with a beer chatting to some dude.
That's not iced tea, is it?
No, it wasn't iced tea, and it wasn't one iced tea either. But I'm going to deal with that. I'm going to go to rehab or something. So do you think you'll maintain the current staffing numbers that you're running at the moment? Do you feel like do you think you're going to need more?
We're pretty busy.
Yeah.
So, but you just got to make sure you're making the right decisions, I guess. So I contract a bit more than what I did before, and find other ways around it without having to employ more staff.
It's hard, man. Like, I obviously speak to a lot of people, and it's almost like if you're not going to have 4 or 6 dudes or ladies, you need 50 or 60.
Yeah,
and have that whole machine.
Yeah,
which is residentially.
It's a huge jump, and it's a huge thing. So,
well, there's a guy in Melbourne,
and it makes it hard to also, keep an eye on quality control and all that sort of stuff. So,
there's a guy in Melbourne who's got 70, residential landscaper. But
wow.
I think he's done it over 25 years, or something. So if you could find, like, you've got your supervisor or your key roles, if you can then start duplicating that, and they care as much about it as you do, but aren't willing to start their own business.
I don't think Adelaide would have the market for anything like that anyway.
No, yeah, but I don't think Adelaide had a market. 10 years ago, I never thought I'd see $500,000 backyards.
No, but I don't think I need to be the guy that's...
No, you're not going to
taking over the whole landscape industry or anything like that.
You're happy to be your slice of the pizza and just...
I'm not greedy.
And do your thing.
Yeah.
I had my last question for you is, give me a question that you want me to ask our next guest.
I don't know who your next guest
is. Should I tell him? I know who my next guest is. The next guest is Josh Hooper from Landscape Techniques. So...
What do I ask Josh?
Mitch wants me to find out if you're his cousin or something.
Me?
He said, are they related?
We'd both have no hair.
It's the new look. Yeah, that's right. We talked about that.
I've got absolutely no idea. I don't know what
that's why I didn't want to tell you who the guest was, because it was like, we were talking about it before. This could go really bad. Like, what did you have for breakfast? Or, DK said, when did you have sex last? That was DK's question. Don't go down that path. I don't know. Like, if it was, okay, what's a question that you would ask any guest?
I always wondered if Josh gets angry. He's always so polite and nice.
Cool. We'll ask Josh that. Do you get angry? I think he's pretty composed, and I know
composed.
I know a lot of people that have worked for him, and I've dealt with him for 15 years. And no, I don't think he does. But we'll talk about it. Is there anything you want to plug about anything you're working on at the moment? Obviously, this is going to be heard by 100 people. Your website, your Instagram.
If people want us to do their work, they'll find us themselves.
Yep.
Like I'm not really chasing it, so.
Yep.
I just let it be what it is.
Wicked, man. Thank you so much for coming in at short notice.
No worries.
I know for everyone, I asked Justin like 2 days ago if he'd be happy to come on, and he graciously said yes.
Monday night.
So, yeah. Thank you very much.